Good afternoon, traders. Joseph here from Eightcap. So far this morning we've seen the Australian trade balance come out better than expected. This is after better than expected GDP yesterday, but don't let this really confuse you, as this data is 3 months in the past, so to speak. So the GDP especially. The common consensus is that figure's already dropped. There is some worry at the moment that Australia could be heading to a recession, but at the moment that's a bit of a hot debated topic now. For all the local listeners who are inside Australia, I'm sure you're starting to feel the panic of coronavirus personally already. I know I am. If any of you, and I'm sure you have been to a local supermarket, pretty crazy stuff. Just seeing some of the panic buying that's going on. Part of me just thinks, what's going on with this, and why has it come down to these sort of measures? And another part of me thinks, well, maybe I should be doing it as well. But hopefully, it is all just being overreaction, and this is not going to blow out into something that some people are worrying it's going to become. So in Australia, we are seeing an increase of infections, and we are seeing an increase in the mortality rate was reported overnight. But again, those figures need to be looked at just to see more detail on them, basically. So back to the markets, we saw very strong moves overnight from the US markets. Now, this is linked to some of the Democratic Party news in the US, but either way, whether that was a reason or part of a reason or just a reason to justify the rally, US markets jumped again last night. The Dow led the gains. It was up over 4%, not 400%, and we can just see that move in front of us now. It was a beautiful move. Again, this is quite common after you see this type of declines. Markets are extremely volatile, and we did see this back in 2008. So at the moment, traders should just be just keeping an eye on this. It's very hard to get into these into these points. If you did think that was some sort of confirmation buy, and you did buy in even anywhere from this area here, you're still talking about a 637 point drop that you would have had to absorb in your stop loss. So that's a very big drop. I don't know too many traders that be running 700 point stop losses normally on a US30 position, unless you're trading maybe a weekly or a monthly chart. Now that is common, quite common in these times, and it makes trading indices very difficult, to be honest with you, because of the risk management that goes into it. Now we can see last night's move was again over 1,000 points. So if you decided to sell even around at this point, you still would have had to have been running a 750 point stop loss, which is again very hard to incorporate into a risk management strategy, depending, regardless really of what position size you're trading, or if your account was big enough, maybe you could. But so today so far we're seeing a bit of selling. We've also been seeing some selling interest against the risk currencies to the USD. The Aussie continues to have a good run, and again, but this morning there's a little bit of weakness, and the Euro finished lower last night after retesting this area here. We saw sellers finally close lower. We did have a good extension lower, but that was pulled back. At the moment, the current rally that we've seen this morning is currently under a bit of pressure with a fade, and the dollar CAD after the rates yesterday did pull. It had a pretty volatile low basically, but it did pull back from lows. We had a very wide range, with 104 pip range on the dollar CAD, and we ended up closing a bit higher. But basically, it was a bit of a stalemate really for the session yesterday, and so far today with the US dollar interest, we are seeing some moves higher. Now, the ASX 200, if I can find it. Has given back a little bit of this morning's gains. Now this is the CFD over the ASX 200 cash market. We can see that strong session that was in the overnight session to finish out the day, and this continues to be the resistance point we're watching just here. We haven't really been able to see buyers break into this area and hold, so that's what we'd like to see. Any type of new fail here could set up further selling, and we're seeing support at the moment on the ASX 200 CFD from that 6295 up to the 6317 area. Again, very wide ranges as well. Now gold did finish lower overnight, but this morning we are seeing some buyer interest, so there is still a bit of momentum higher, and while this price point here can hold, we'll be looking for a possibility of buyers to maybe try and push a little bit further into and test that resistance area again. But again, buyers need to maintain and hold their current momentum. Now onto oil, we have OPEC meetings today. I think one of the key things we'll be looking for is any type of real dedicated supply cuts. Now this is due to oil being at very low prices currently, back under that $50 point per barrel, and with the coronavirus doing all kinds of worries to global manufacturing and global growth. There was a figure came out from as a market today saying that the global growth PMI index is falling at its fastest rate since 2008 financial crisis. So will we see OPEC come in and try to put some concrete supply cuts into the system with some dates and times, basically just possibly try and not really push oil up but destabilize it. We did see that rally a few days ago, but now they'd be hoping, and buyers will be looking for a possibility of a hold here, possibly a new extension up to test that resistance here. But at the moment, oil continues to sort of trade in a stalemate around that 47.50 point. So anything really bullish out of OPEC could see oil move up, but again, with the current pattern of price at the moment, it is in it has that breakdown there, and it is sitting in a corrective rally with a lot of supply coming in from this area. So price wise, it does still lean a little bit more towards the selling side of the picture, but again, we need to just wait for the final word from the OPEC meetings to see if they are going to put in some bullish influence into the market if they do come through with supply cuts going forward. So that's it for now. We hope you have a fantastic trading day. We'll just finish on Bitcoin now. Bitcoin, this looked like this morning that it was going to try and test this low, but buyers have come in, and we've seen a fair bit more stability and a good rally coming out after sellers once again failed last night to break that low, and we're seeing now a rally at the moment of 1.81%, but this is the area we'd like to see beaten to sort of show that buyers hold momentum are going to continue a bit higher, and that will be a close above that 8933. So if we do see a close or hold below this resistance point, we're probably looking for the market just to consolidate for maybe a little bit further. So that's all for now. Have a fantastic trading day, and until tomorrow, bye for now.